Hey guys, welcome back to the Snapbrain Chronicles. We're back at you with another Ratchet video, but not just any Ratchet. This is the infamous Icon gold, 24 karat gold plated Ratchet. So here it is, and here's a look at it. The plating is all gold. But before we jump into it, if you can give me a like and also subscribe to this channel if you find this content at all helpful or entertaining, I would appreciate it. Okay, here's this Ratchet I picked up used. I did not buy this brand new. So you can see there's some scratches on it. It's not overall, the shape is pretty good, just some minor scratches, but obviously not untouched or collector's grade. And what surprised me about this Ratchet is that when I looked online, I looked on YouTube, I saw a bunch of videos on this Ratchet, but I didn't see any teardown videos. So today we're gonna tear down the video and you're gonna see what's inside this Ratchet. But this is kind of Harbor Freight Icons. I would call this a gimmick, the whole gold plated thing. This Ratchet retails right now for $70, which is kind of expensive even for Icon. I think their regular unplated, ungold plated Icon Ratchet that's the same as this one, I think that one might go for like $40 if I'm not mistaken. But this one goes for almost double just because of the gold plating. So don't know what to say about that. It's obviously a gimmick, but you know, some people like gold, and they're not the only ones to do something like this, gold plating and whatnot. I think Snap-on has also jumped into the collectors. They've been doing it for a while, the collectors Ratchet type of gold whatnot. So there you have it. This Ratchet it's pretty long for a 3/8 drive. No quick release, nothing like that. This is measured around 9 inches, so it's kind of long for a 3/8. Like a normal 3/8 right now usually runs around like maybe 8 inches, and the more vintage 3/8 run like 7, even some go down to 6 in the 6 category. So, and one thing I don't like about the Icons is that they have the screws that screw right into the Ratchet itself. If you notice, like on other Ratchets, they'll have the screw heads sticking on one side, and then they'll screw into the plate, which I think might be a better system, just because if you mess up the threads in the plate, I think it would probably be easier to get a replacement plate than it would be to, I don't know, than to replace the whole Ratchet itself, because once the threads in the head itself are gone, I wouldn't know how to fix that unless you can rethread or retap some really small holes, and they're kind of shallow too, so I don't know. So let's open this up. What you're gonna need is a T8, a Torx 8. Here we have a Torx 8. It's a mini Torx. And that's another thing. It's kind of a weird Torx to be having ideally they should make these screws a Torx 10, because Torx 10s are pretty universal and easy to find. Another thing is I don't see and I couldn't find any thread lock on these screws, so I don't see any thread lock. So I don't know if there was no thread lock from the factory, if this has been someone tampered with it. I doubt it. I don't think anyone opened this ratchet up. But yeah, it was weird because when I looked on YouTube, I didn't see any. I saw a bunch of videos on this ratchet, but I didn't see anybody open it up. So here we go. Here's the plate. The plate is kind of like the usual plate. Overseas Taiwan plate. Has some letters that are engraved: "Do not immerse in fluids, 90 tooth." And that's it. I will admit that when I opened this for the first time, this whole mechanism was swimming in grease. So I didn't buy it new, so I don't know if the grease was added or what the deal is, but I doubt it was added. I think these come with a good amount of grease in them, these icons. And here is the gear, 90 teeth. This one looks pretty brand new. Doesn't look like it has anywhere that I can see on these teeth. Here's the ball detent. Looks pretty decent. And the back has a little dimple in it. And that's the gear. And then we have the pawl. It's a pretty big pawl. It's pretty wide also. Like 19 teeth on this pawl. You can see it's pretty new. Everything looks pretty good there. Like I said, it looks pretty brand new. Nothing out of the ordinary here. And there's the plunger and the spring that go under the pawl. They sit in the switch, in a hole in the switch. It's a pretty long plunger, you see there, and it's hollow, and it has this spring, and the spring is pretty long also. See there, the spring. Just put that back into the plunger. Okay, and here's the switch. One word of caution: to take this out, you push it out. Push this out this way, and you take the switch out this way. Before you push anything, make sure you block this or put it in a clear plastic bag or something, because the ball will definitely shoot out, and you don't want to lose that ball. It's under spring tension. Okay. Here's the ball. And now you can just kind of pivot the switch and then pull it out. Like that. Here's a switch. It's made of metal. It's painted black There is an O-ring on the switch here. See this O-ring here in the middle? They did put an O-ring there, but there is no O-ring on over here on the gear itself. So for some reason they put an O-ring on the switch, and that was it. And that's the hole that the plunger and spring sit in. And down there is the spring. I'll just leave it in there. No, you know what? I'll take it out. In case anybody's curious, this is what the spring looks like. It looks pretty long also. That's the hole. It looks pretty wide, the diameter. A pretty good size hole there for the spring. And here's a look inside the head. This is what it looks like. It's also gold plated inside. And but they do have some machine marks inside. See on the side there by the edge, looks like they kind of buffed out the slag or whatever was in there before they plated it. And I'm looking in the screw hole. I don't know, it looks a little bluish in there, bluish green. I don't know if that's remnants of the screws having some thread locker in them, or maybe that's just remnants of the gold plating kind of turning green. But that's a look at the inside. And what you get for your $70, this is it. Oh, on the letters, it says R2 gold, 24 karat gold plated. Doesn't have a country of origin on it, but I'm pretty sure this is Taiwan. No way is this made in the USA, and Icon is not made in the USA as far as I know. Okay, to put this back together, you take the spring, put that back in, put your ball bearing on top of the spring. I might have to get my anti-magnetic tweezers out. Okay, like that. And you want to put the switch in, but you don't want to push it forward yet until you get like a small screwdriver. Let me see what I have here. That's too small. Maybe I'll try this screwdriver. If I could push it down and then like that. Be very careful, because I almost lost the ball just then. If the switch hadn't gone forward quick enough, that ball would have been flying. And make sure it's switching, and you take your plunger and spring, and you put it in the hole like that. You take your pawl, make sure that 90T is facing out. I'm not sure if you could put it in both ways, but that's the way it came apart originally. That's the way they had it, so that's the way I'm just keeping it like that. You put your pawl in there, and then you kind of squeeze it down a little bit. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it. Oh, okay. Everything's cooperating today. That's pretty good. And you just try to mash the pawl down to get the gear in, and if you're good, you can probably mash it down with the edge of the gear to put the pawl on top of that plunger and spring. And then you just check it out, see if it's switching, see if it's ratcheting. This is what it looks like when it's ratcheting. That's what it looks like. Okay, now you take your plate, throw it on top, your screws, get them in, and don't really torque them down crazy, because we know that the threads are part of the head itself. So I suggest, if you want it tighter, just put some thread locker on it to keep them from creeping out. And that's it pretty much. That's the Icon Gold 24 karat gold plated ratchet. Like I said, if you want this, it's gonna be like $70. Would I pay $70 for this brand new? No, I wouldn't do that. It doesn't really I don't know, I'm not really into that side of collecting where it's kind of like, oh, it's gold or something. No, I don't to me, that's, I don't know, that's kind of funny. But I picked this up used for kind of a reasonable price, so that's why I brought it out, and I wanted to show you guys what's inside this mechanism. Alright guys, until next time.